Hello, welcome to LK Tuition. I'm Lucas, and today we're going to look at the Venn diagram method for finding the least common multiple and the highest common factor. So before we get started, just a couple of things just to recap from the last few videos. So the lowest common multiple of two numbers is the lowest number that is in both of their times tables. If you're not sure about that, there's a whole video on that. And there is also a video on the highest common factor, which is if you get two numbers, their highest common factor is the highest number that can be multiplied to make both numbers. And then the other video that you'll need for this is that any number can be written as a product of its prime factors by using factor trees. And what we're going to do today is we're going to bring all those things together to use a different method to find out the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple. Okay, so let's think about the number 24 to start. So if we did a factor tree for 24, it would give us this product of primes. So let's just quickly do that. So remember our prime numbers were 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, blah, blah, blah. And if we started off with 24, we're just picking out prime factors. So 2 times 12, 2 is prime. Factorise 12, that's 2 times 6, and 6 is 2 times 3. So that's where all those prime numbers come from. And then let's take a second number and another factor tree will give that 40. So let's just highlight the important numbers. So we've got 24 and we've got 40. And this is the factor tree for 40. It will give 2 cubed times 5. And then what we're saying is we can now put this into a Venn diagram. So let's just use a couple of different colours. Let's use red for 24. So I'm going to have that as 24. And let's have blue for 40. Okay. Now in the overlap of the Venn diagram are all the numbers that are in both. Now both numbers have 2 cubed or 3 2's. So 2, 2 and 2. Now what does the red circle, or what does 24 have extra? Well, it's got an extra 3. And what does 40 have extra, the blue circle? Well, it's got 5. Oops, I didn't want to draw that in that colour. Let's have it blue. There we go, 5. So that is our Venn diagram. So let's move on to the next one then and see how that Venn diagram that we've made can give us our highest common factor and our lowest common multiple. Okay, so let's just draw this Venn diagram again. So we had 24 and we had 40, and then we had 5 there, we had 3 there, and then we had 3 2's in the middle. Okay, now for the highest common factor, all you have to do is multiply all the numbers in the middle. So this overlap here. And that will give you the highest common factor. So here we've got 2 times 2 times 2. So the highest common factor of 24 and 40 is 8. To figure out the least common multiple, you times everything together in the Venn diagram. So for the least common multiple, you times everything in the Venn diagram together. So it's 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5, and that will give you 120. So the idea is this, so you do your factor trees for both of them, you see what's in common, that goes in the middle of your Venn diagram, you see what's extra in each of them, they go in their separate circles, and then to find the highest common factor, you just times the overlapping numbers together, and to find the least common multiple, or the lowest common multiple, you times all of the numbers together. Okay, so let's do a couple of example questions. So number 1, we want to use factor trees to find the least common multiple and the highest common factor of 32 and 80. Okay, so let's start off with 32. So 32, let's just start splitting this up. So this is 2 times 16. 16 can be split up into 2 times 8. 8 can be split up into 2 times 4. And 4 can be split up into 2 times 2. So this is all the 2's. And this is 2 to the power of 5. So let's just write that down there like that. Okay, now let's do 80. So 80 is 2 times 40. 40 can be split into 2 times 20. 20 can be split into 2 times 10. and 10 can be split up into 2 times 5, and that is prime as well. So this is 2 to the power of 4 times 5. Great. Okay, so now I can draw my Venn diagram. So let's keep 80 for red, and let's keep blue for 32. Now, blue has got 5 2's times together, red has got 4, but they've both at least got 4, haven't they? So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, 32, what's that got extra? Well, it's got 1 extra 2. And 80, what has that got extra? Well, that has got 5. So finally then, so to find the highest common factor of 80 and 32, we just want to times all the numbers in the middle together. So that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and that gives you 16. So the highest common factor is 16. And then the least common multiple, let's grab a different colour, the least common multiple of 80 and 3. Now we already know that the middle numbers times together to make 16, so we've got 16 and we want to times by the others, so times 2 times 5. 16 times 2 is 32, and 32 times 5 is 160. Okay, so let's just do one more example. So now we want to use factor trees to find the least common multiple and the highest common factor of 75 and 200. So again, we'll just do the same method. So start with 75. Now this is 5 times 15, and 15 is 3 times 5. Lovely. So that was a nice one, and that is 3 times 5 squared. So just moving a little bit quicker as we get the hang of it a bit more. And then let's try 200. So 200 is the same as 2 times 100. 100 is the same as 2 times 50. 50 is the same as 2 times 25. And 25 is the same as 5 times 5. So this altogether, we've got 2 to the power of 3. And then we've got 5 squared. Okay, so now we draw our Venn diagram. So this is 200, and in red we've got 75. That's a lovely circle. So what have they both got in the middle? Well, they've both got 2 5s, haven't they? So we've got 5 and 5. Now what's the red one got extra? Well, 75, we've got the 2 5s already, so the only thing left over is 3. And then the blue one, we've got our 5s, but we've also got 3 lots of 2. So we've got 2, 2 and 2. So that is our Venn diagram for this. So finally then, the highest common factor of 75 and 20 is just going to be whatever's in the middle times together. So 5 times 5, which is 25. And then the least common multiple of 75 and 200, I've got to put a little 0 there, is going to be, well, we've already got 25 in the middle, but we want to times that by 3, and then by 2, by 2, and by 2. So that is going to be, 75 is 25 times 3, double that is 150, double that is 300, and double that is 600. So I think it's 600. Let's just double check. 25 times 3 is 75, 153. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, so just a quick recap of the steps then. So to find the highest common factor and the least common multiple of two numbers, you do their factor trees. Then you do a Venn diagram to see what is the same in both, what's different in both. And then you times them in the middle, times the crossover together to get the highest common factor, and then times all the numbers together to get the least common multiple. Okay, hope you found that helpful, and please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon for some more maths videos.